Greetings, dear subscribers and casual listeners of my channel. Hogwarts is a magical castle full of mysteries and secrets. Unfortunately, the movies barely scratch the surface of what really happens at Hogwarts, so let's recall some of those details together. Enjoy watching number 142 staircases. Yes, and all of them move. Staircases come in various types, narrow and tall, with disappearing steps. Poor Neville could tell you a lot about that. A staircase can move in a circle, go up, down, and some even change their position on specific days of the week. In the movies, the staircase's movement is much more predictable, and no one ever saw the disappearing steps. Number 2. Tricky doors. Doors at Hogwarts are almost as complicated to navigate as the staircases. We're familiar with the entrance to the Gryffindor common room, which requires a password given to the fat lady. The entrance to the headmaster's office also opens with a password. However, the movies didn't show that other doors at Hogwarts have their own secrets. You might need to sing a song, solve a riddle, or tickle a specific spot. For example, the entrance to the kitchen is hidden behind a painting of a fruit bowl. If you tickle the pear, the door opens. Number 3. Common rooms. The movies didn't reveal that the Slytherin common room is partially located beneath Hogwarts Lake. That's why the rooms have a gloomy greenish light. Sunlight filters through the lake first. The Ravenclaw common room is in one of the towers, the most open and airy, with many verandas and windows. There's even a large library inside, a perfect fit for the most intellectual house. The Hufflepuff common room is near the kitchens. While it's located in the basement, it's described as warm and sunny, with bright light and a cozy atmosphere. Number 4. Discipline. Hogwarts has many tricks designed to ensure students behave well and stay safe. For example, the movies didn't show that if a boy tries to enter the girls' dormitory, the staircase turns into a slide. It doesn't work the other way around. Girls can freely enter the boys' dormitory. Number 5. The castle is in Scotland. Hogwarts is protected by dozens of spells that hide its location. Some were created to protect the students, while others keep muggles away. It's unlikely Hogwarts will ever appear on a muggle map, and if a satellite tries to take a picture of the area, something interesting will happen. The castle itself is located in Scotland, and any muggle who stumbles upon it will find only ruins with a sign saying, "Danger, keep out." Number 6. Muggle technology doesn't work. Thanks to all the protective spells on the castle, no Muggle technology works on school grounds. This explains why students don't have phones or laptops, which would certainly upset modern kids. However, there are strange exceptions. Colin Creevy's old-fashioned camera worked just fine. Number 7. Self-healing. This may sound strange, but Hogwarts has the ability to regenerate and heal itself. This detail is rarely emphasized because the school has never faced anything too destructive, except when students make mistakes while learning spells. The castle suffered the most damage during the battle with the Death Eaters, but it did eventually repair itself, though not immediately. Number 8. Over 20 ghosts. The movie showed a few ghosts, such as Moaning Myrtle, Nearly Headless Nick, and the Grey Lady, but the books mentioned many more. Notable examples include Professor Binns, who taught history of magic in an incredibly boring manner, and Peeves the poltergeist, who constantly caused trouble for everyone at Hogwarts. Number 9. House Elves. From the very first part, readers and viewers were curious about how food magically appears in the Great Hall. While viewers never got an answer, readers learned that it's not magic but house elves who have worked at the school since its founding. House elves not only cook, but also clean. Dobby is the only one who receives payment for his work. Number 10. School motto. Did you know Hogwarts has a motto? It's Draco Dormiens Nunquam Titilandus, which means never tickle a sleeping dragon. It may sound silly, but there's undoubtedly a deeper meaning behind it. Number 11. The Quill of Acceptance and Book of Admittance. The Quill of Acceptance and the Book of Admittance are two powerful magical artifacts. Together, they monitor and record magical students. They only add a student once it's clear they have significant magical abilities. This prevents squibs from being added. Both items are kept in one of Hogwarts' towers, a place students aren't allowed to visit. Interestingly, it's one of the few rules Harry never broke during his time at school. Number 12. Sentient Castle. In a way, Hogwarts has a mind of its own. It can make independent decisions, and happily does so when given the chance. For example, when Umbridge replaced Dumbledore as headmaster, the castle refused to let her into the headmaster's office. No matter what spell or password she used, the castle didn't recognize her as its head and denied her entry. Number 13. The Healing Powers of the Lake. Hogwarts Lake is the true heart of the castle. On the surface it seems calm, but its waters are filled with secrets. They can heal, cure, and even lift dark curses. It's no wonder Madame Pomfrey often used its water in her potions. Sometimes magic isn't enough, she would tell the students. Nature helps where spells are powerless. The rarest potion made from this water is called the Moon Spring Elixir. It can break even the curses cast by dark wizards. However, the water must be collected only on the night of a full moon and only from the middle of the lake, where its power is strongest. For Muggles, however, this water is dangerous. It can poison them, causing a feverish delirium. There's a legend that in the 19th century, a Muggle named George Hawkins accidentally drank some lake water. He nearly died, but was saved by Professor Phineas Blackstone, who quickly brewed a rare antidote. The lake is home to many creatures. The most famous is the giant squid, who is not just a resident, but also the lake's guardian. In 1974, it saved a first-year Ravenclaw student from drowning during a nighttime challenge. But not all lake creatures are as friendly. Merpeople prefer to keep to themselves, but their eerie songs can sometimes be heard at night. These melodies are both mesmerizing and terrifying. "Never listen to them," warned Lupin. "They'll drive you mad." There are also stranger phenomena. One of the rarest is the water rainbow, which appears once every few years when moonlight touches the water's surface. Those who've seen it claim it's pure magical energy. "It's a true wonder of nature," said Professor Slughorn. "The real power of water." There's a story that a mermaid once gave Harry Potter a vial filled with water from the lake's core. "It will save you in your darkest hour," she whispered. But Harry never used the gift. The vial still gathers dust somewhere among his old things. The depths of the lake hold ancient runes. No one knows who left them there. The runes are carved into the rocks at the bottom and glow in the dark. Researchers tried to decipher their secrets in 1922, but the project was abruptly shut down for unknown reasons. Number 15. The Living Portraits. The living portraits at Hogwarts are more than just paintings. They've witnessed it all. They remember the days of the founders, great battles, and the castle's darkest secrets. Portraits can move between frames, talk to each other, and offer advice to those they trust. The Fat Lady's portrait is the most famous, guarding the entrance to the Gryffindor common room. Few know that in her youth she was a singer. "Ah, my glory days," she sighs when students forget the password. If she's in a good mood, she might even sing, though her loud voice makes the walls shake and students cover their ears. On the other side of the castle hangs the portrait of Sir Barclay Trent, a stern wizard who once guarded Hogwarts treasures. He despises dirt and disorder. If someone passes by with muddy shoes, Barclay immediately scolds them. "Clean your boots or be gone," he roars, his voice echoing through the corridor. Not all portraits grumble. Some are true detectives. In 1927, a rare artifact called the Tear Stone disappeared. No one knew where it had gone until Professor Argenta Crawford's portrait revealed that she saw it being taken by Professor McGillicuddy's cat. The mystery was solved. Edgar Hoxley, one of the oldest portraits, was an astronomer and still talks about the stars. In 1507, I saw the blazing comet, he boasts. Its light almost set the forest behind the castle on fire. Lady Mirabella is different. She always remains silent. Her portrait hangs in the north wing. They say she witnessed a conspiracy that could have destroyed Hogwarts. But when asked about it, she only smiles sadly and disappears into the depths of her frame. Sometimes portraits warn of danger. In 1985, the paintings on the third floor began whispering among themselves. An enchanted trunk had gone missing. It was found 3 weeks later in the potions classroom. "Never trust trunks that wander around the castle," said Horace Flint's portrait grimly. Number 16. The Dungeon Labyrinth. The Dungeon Labyrinth at Hogwarts is a place you should never enter without a good reason. The dark corridors go deep underground, twisting and turning into a true trap. Even the professors are wary of entering alone. The walls are steeped in ancient magic. Potions, cursed artifacts, and forgotten secrets are stored here. But some corridors are better left undiscovered. Students whisper that at night, footsteps and soft laughter can be heard. "Don't go there alone," warned Filch. "The castle might play a nasty trick on you." In 1878, a Hufflepuff student fell into a well and found himself in a strange tunnel. The walls were covered in mysterious symbols. He wandered for a whole day before being found. "Someone was calling my name," he later said, "but no one was there." The most frightening corridor is the Shadow Whirl. The shadows on its walls move on their own, even without light. They say the corridor ends with an ancient door leading to a hidden sanctuary. The sanctuary is a legend. Some say it's a temple of ancient wizards. Others believe it hides a source of immense power, but no one knows where it truly is. Professor Binns once mentioned it in a lecture. "The sanctuary exists," he said, "but only the chosen ones know the way." Many tried to find it afterward, but all failed. The labyrinth constantly shifts. Corridors move, creating new paths. Professor Snape often warned students, "Never stray from the known route. One wrong turn, and you might vanish forever." Number 17. Magical Greenhouse Number 4. Magical Greenhouse Number 4 is a place where nature becomes dangerous. Only the most talented are allowed inside. Here, plants live their own lives, and each one can either help or destroy you. The wreath of death is the most treacherous resident of the greenhouse. Its petals smell sweet, but the scent can put you to sleep for days. Professor Sprout always warns, "Don't touch it." Even breathing near the flower can be fatal. In 1843, a student touched the wreath of death and slept for an entire month. Equally dangerous is the wooden hound, which looks like an ordinary tree. But if you touch its branches, they come to life and wrap around your arm. Without the correct spell, there's no escape. Its roots are used to create the most powerful protective potions. In the corner of the greenhouse grows the fire lily, with petals that glow like tiny flames. They can heal burns, but if plucked incorrectly, the flower ignites. In 1978, a mishap nearly set the entire greenhouse on fire. Sometimes the greenhouse seems to come alive on its own. Occasionally, a mist ivy glides across the floor like a living shadow. When it appears, something always changes, says Professor Sprout. Not all plants are dangerous. The moonfern is a true legend. It blooms once every 10 years, and its leaves are used to treat rare illnesses. However, they can only be picked at midnight. One sound, and the plant disappears. Every student dreams of entering greenhouse number 4, but not everyone is ready for its challenges. Here, patience and attentiveness are crucial. The greenhouse doesn't forgive mistakes, Sprout warns. Number 18. The magic of sounds. Hogwarts is alive with sounds. By day, it's the familiar noise of footsteps, laughter, and the creak of old staircases. But at night, everything changes. The castle begins to whisper. Sounds emerge from the walls and ceiling. It feels as though Hogwarts itself is speaking to you. Sometimes the whisper turns into a melody. Soft and barely audible, it's known as the Song of the Founders. It plays to protect the castle. In 1942, during an attack, the melody suddenly echoed through the corridors. The walls trembled, and dark magic vanished. Not all sounds are safe, though. One melody brings eternal sleep. In 1875, a Ravenclaw student vanished after hearing a strange song. "It was beautiful," she said the night before. "I hear it every night." She was never seen again. On some nights, laughter echoes through the castle from empty corridors. Whenever someone tries to find the source, it disappears. "That's the castle's spirit playing with you," older students whisper. Teachers blame it on the wind, but those who've heard the laughter know it's no draught. Sounds often lead to secrets. Once, Harry Potter followed a whisper in the walls and found a hidden passage to the Room of Requirement. "Hogwarts loves to speak to those who listen," Dumbledore told him. The strangest melody plays in the astronomy tower during a full moon. The notes are slow and heavy. Some say they contain words. "The castle sings when it glimpses the future," one professor claimed. In the dungeons, sounds grow louder. Snape often said he heard footsteps behind him, but when he turned around, no one was there. "The castle is always watching," he added darkly. There are also kind sounds. The wind spirit's lullaby in the West Tower is one of them. It's a soft, soothing song that brings luck. Those who hear it always make a wish. Number 19. The eternally locked classroom. At Hogwarts, there's a room no one can open. Its door is always locked. No spell works on it, and not even the professors know what lies beyond. Legend says that forbidden magic was once taught there, spells that could manipulate time and control minds. One day something went wrong, and the room was sealed forever. On full moon nights, strange sounds can be heard from behind the door. Whispers, footsteps, and sometimes a melody. Some students have seen a blue light seeping through the cracks. "I heard someone call my name," said Edward Grey. When he touched the door, he felt an icy chill. In 1891, 3 upper-year students tried to break in. The door didn't budge. Edward ran away and never returned to that part of the castle. Professor Flitwick once tried to unlock it with a powerful spell, but the door didn't move. "It's ancient magic," he said. "We shouldn't disturb it." The portraits in the corridor also behave strangely. Usually they remain silent when asked about the room, but sometimes they turn toward the door, as if listening. Once, the fat lady whispered, "Some secrets are best left untouched." Phineas Black, a former headmaster, knew what was behind the door. He often stood in front of it, staring at the lock. "If you open it, everything will change," he once told a student. What he meant remains a mystery. In 1947, a Ravenclaw student stayed by the door all night. In the morning, she was found asleep on the floor. She didn't wake for a week. When she finally did, she whispered, "I saw a long corridor disappearing into darkness." Some believe a secret library is hidden behind the door, containing ancient spells that could change the wizarding world. Others think it's a prison for a spirit that once tried to take over Hogwarts. Number 20. Talking suits of armor. The suits of armor at Hogwarts are not just decorations, they're alive. They can talk, joke, and even give advice. Most importantly, they are always ready to defend the school. Each suit of armor has its own personality. Some are stern and silent, while others are mischievous pranksters. The armor in the West Wing loves to stick out its leg in front of passing students. Reflex test, it laughs when someone stumbles. During the First Wizarding War with Voldemort, the suits of armor became guardians of the castle. In 1981, one of them shielded a student from a curse. "Duty comes first," it said, and returned to its place. Every Halloween, the suits of armor march through the corridors, clanging their swords loudly. First-year students squeal with delight. "It's our tradition," booms the armor on the first floor. But sometimes the marches are ominous. In 1972, the armor suddenly started moving at night without reason, marching through the castle as if in ancient times. "The castle senses something," said Professor Sprout. "It always warns us." Sir Hector's armor is one of the most famous. It stands on the second floor and loves telling stories. "We've defeated evil more than once," it says, "but it always returns." There are also mysterious suits of armor. The Silent Knight's armor never speaks. However, in 1994, it guided a lost student out of the dungeons by simply pointing the way. Students believe the armor can see the future. Before important events, they start moving strangely. If a suit of armor turns its head, change is coming, older students whisper. Number 21. The Mantisaning. The Moon Spring is one of the most hidden places at Hogwarts. It's located near the greenhouses and fills with water only during a full moon. On ordinary days, its bed is dry and covered with moss. The water of the Moon Spring is pure magic. It heals wounds and restores strength. A single sip can save a dying person. But there is a dark side. If used for selfish purposes, the drinker may lose their magical abilities forever. Professor Sprout once told the story of a student who tried to brew a potion to enhance his magic. He took water from the spring. The next day, his spells stopped working, and he left Hogwarts forever. During the Second Wizarding War, the spring saved many lives. Madame Pomfrey used its water to brew healing potions. "It cured what no spell could," she told Harry. Finding the spring is no easy task. It only appears on certain nights when the moonlight touches the ground. Many have tried to find it, but the castle reveals its path only to a few. It's believed that the spring existed long before Hogwarts was founded. Ancient wizards created it as a gift, but with that gift came a curse. Everything has a price. In 1899, a Ravenclaw student accidentally found the spring. She stared into the water for a long time. "I heard a whisper," she later said. "It offered me a choice." The girl ran away, but her life was never the same. Some say the water can grant wishes, but the price is always steep. In 1971, Professor Flitwick mentioned that one of the school's founders used the water. He disappeared and never returned. That's all for now. Thank you for staying until the end. I hope you found it interesting. If so, don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel.